Hello, hello, hello. Brent Hoodenpyle here with another exciting edition of Persuading for Profits. Thank you for joining me today. This is the radio program for salespeople. It's designed to equip you with these skills and the tools that you need to go out and crush your sales goals each and every week. Thank you for joining me here. We are sponsored by Radio Update. RadioUpdate.com, your one-stop resource for all things radio industry on the internet. We appreciate their sponsorship. We appreciate them hosting us and promoting us on their website. We love them. And most of the stuff that we do here is geared toward radio professionals. And today is probably going to be more geared toward radio account executives and advertising and salespeople than anything else. However, this is sales. It's marketing. Selling is a human-to-human interaction. And so because of that, all of these things will work across industries, maybe in a little bit different way. But for what we're doing today, we are really going to dive into helping radio people go out and land more clients and land more customers and sell more advertising. So if you're and this is based on a series of articles I wrote, I guess almost a year ago for RadioUpdate.com. And this is based on your prospects' favorite radio station. No matter what industry you're in, your prospect has a radio station that they love. You know, in Dallas-Fort Worth, the ticket calls them a P1, right? It's the preset one. They are always listening to that radio station. And so you could go in as a radio advertiser. Say you're going to call on a business to try and get them to advertise on your station. You could pull up in the parking lot and you see your bumper stickers and your decals and your stickers and your logos all across their cars. You're like, man, this is going to be a slam dunk. You go inside, in the radio, they have the radio blaring. It's your station. You're like, man, these people are going to love me. And then you talk to them for a few minutes, you present your wares, and you leave, and you're like shaking your head because they wanted nothing to do with you. And so it's because you got confused about what their favorite radio station is. Their favorite radio station is not your station. And this is an old advertising and marketing kind of saying. I don't know, mnemonic. Their favorite radio station is WIIFM. WIIFM. And that stands for What's in It for Me. Now, when you walk into a business and you're pitching advertising or marketing to them, your job is to find out what they want. Now, you might say, hey, I can get you radio time. I can get you on the morning show. I can get you, sponsoring the pregame of the football games or the baseball games, or I can get you, hosting the noon hour or whatever, or sponsoring the noon hour, whatever you think you can give them. I can get you this many impressions on social media on top of that. They woke up that morning not wanting any of that. They still probably don't want it. So what do they want? Well, you got to ask questions and find out. Don Lazzari was on here. We had him on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he talked about credibility. You gain credibility with prospects. Credibility is the most important thing in sales. You gain credibility with prospects by asking intelligent questions. So to ask intelligent questions, you kind of have to have a jumping off point, right? You kind of had to talk to enough people to kind of figure out what's going on in the industry right now. What might be some things that are bothering them? You kind of had to talk to your sales manager and other salespeople to find out what they're seeing out there in the marketplace. And so you kind of have to have a little bit of a jumping off point. But once you have that, it all comes down to a few things. So let's just talk broadly in the what's in it for me things that people just in general want. So I think as far as a business owner, it's probably a good thing to assume that they want more customers. Now, you don't go in pitching them more customers, but they probably do want that. Most businesses want more business, right? They want to keep the lights on. They want to keep profits rolling in. But maybe your business guy has all the customers he can handle. They're just not the right kind of customers. Maybe a few years ago, he was selling this at this price and things were great and he had fewer customers and everything was great. Now maybe he's had to lower his prices and now maybe he has tons of customers, but they're garbage customers. They're discount customers. He's made himself a commodity. And now these people are wearing him out. And the job he had that was once great is now not good anymore. So you don't know though until you ask, right? Maybe he wants more money. We just talked about that. Maybe he needs to sell to more people at a higher price. Okay, well, you can help him with that. Radio is a positioning medium. You know, a lot of people spend money on Facebook ads. They spend money on Google ads. They spend money on SEO to get their website up. And they realize that all they've really bought is a ticket to be a part of the crowd, a part of the crowd that's screaming at people, buy from me, buy from me. And when you're in that crowd, the only way you're really getting people over is by saying our price is the cheapest. Our price is the best. I mean, at some point, it's a race to the bottom of your price. So people can compare prices across the board and see. Radio is different. Radio, you're a positioning medium, right? Your advertisements, your marketing positions people and businesses above the crowd. Your DJs, your trusted DJs who are trusted by millions of people, who people wake up to and drive home with and every morning and every evening, are now endorsing these people. You're on their show. You're during the ball game. Whatever. You know, your job is not to help people sell at a discount when they're on your air. Your job is to help them sell at a premium price and to get certainty out of their advertising. That's the other thing people want. They want less stress. They want their career and their job. There's another acronym, ELF, easy, lucrative, and fun. You want your career to be like that too. And you can have that if you will figure out how to listen to people, how to ask questions, and how to find out what they want and give it to them. They want certainty in their life. Business owners want certainty. It is hard running a business. Don Lazari also said that a lot of his clients were CEOs who were really good at doing the business. And you see this in the trades. You see this in all sorts of businesses. People are really good at starting the business. They're good at what they do. They form a business. They start growing. And then all of a sudden they realize they're not doing that main thing anymore. What they're now doing is marketing and advertising. And they don't want to do that. They want to get back to doing the business. They want somebody else to handle the marketing and advertising. They have built this business up to this level, and now they have to keep feeding it, right? Now they have to keep having money come in. I've seen this a lot. They have to have money coming in to stay at that level. You know, so this is the Bible. Going from glory to glory. They're stuck at that glory though, right? They need somebody else to help them get to the next one, right? The only reason somebody's making $200,000 is because they don't know how to make $3,000. Unless they retire and they've scaled back, right? Otherwise, they would be making more. So the thing is, same thing with these business owners. The only reason they're stuck at that amount of money is because they don't know how to make more. They don't have a solution or a way to get there. And they don't have a way that provides certainty for them. They want that in their life. If some part of your offer that you make to them can include that, you'll be really successful. Now, the other thing they want is they want quick and easy. Radio, again, this is easy. They don't want another job. They already have a job, and it's hard. They need somebody else to handle this part of the work for them. And they also want quick. Now, radio, let's be honest, it's a long commitment. For this to really work, you need somebody to sign up for a year to really make things work so you can really get them the results. But man, it's tough. We live in an instant gratification society. People want wins right away. Now, they may not get a total win right away, but what can you do to help them get a quick win? What can you do? Can you have them on? Can you run a special promo for them for a new advertiser? Can you do a series of remotes out at their place? Can you have a sponsor spotlight? I always thought a flash mob thing would be cool. A radio flash mob club where every Tuesday or Wednesday, the slowest nights of the week for most restaurants, some restaurant will offer a special. We'll do this little prefix dinner to go for $10, $15, $20, and boom, you announce it. People go there. The first 100 people, first 50 people get the deal, and they're off down the road. Can you do that? Why not? Do whatever you do. When you're selling people, these are what people want in their minds. So this is not to assume this is the only thing they want, but this is to give you tools for when you make an offer to them. This is what you can include to make the offer for them a no-brainer. Hey, stick with me for this time. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to make you, and this is what Charlie Moser said on this program from the Wizard of Ads Gulf Coast. He said, I can take somebody with the radio commercials. I can make it so that when people need an air conditioning repair person in Wichita, wherever, they don't search air conditioning repair people in Wichita. They search Jones Brothers Air Conditioning, Wichita, because they've heard them on that station so many times, because they've become friendly with them. They know them. They know who to turn to when they have a problem. That's what radio can do for people. And so that's the solution that you can provide. But it takes a long time to get there. So when you make your offer, you want to make it so that, hey, this is where we're going to get you. This is what it's going to look like. Go with me into the future. See that offer. Now, here's what it's going to take to get you there. Here's what we can do along the way to help you get better and to get to that place. And a lot of people, man, they may have something that's not really directly related to radio. Man, we're getting killed with reviews. I used to work for an air conditioning company, right? And we had 15,000 service calls a year. We had 2 reviews on Yelp, and they were both bad. So we looked like a terrible company. Were we a terrible company? Not if you're doing 15,000 service calls a year. Not if you have that many repeat customers. Not if you have that many people that you've been around in business for 50 years. But on Yelp, we look terrible. What can you do? I also wrote about this on Radio Update. What can you do to help people on the things that maybe isn't your exact job? But when you can find out what they want and you can package that in with what you offer them, man, their eyes are going to light up. Wait a second here. This guy can help me with this and this and this. And how much is that? Then you're getting into negotiations. What's that going to cost me? Pretty cool. Maybe you go up to a business and they do say they want better customers. And so you just pitch that to them. You pitch, look, I know that you want this. I know that you want better customers. Look, we're a 50,000 watt blowtorch. Do you have customers that you've liked? Yeah. Do you have customers that you wish you had more of them? Yeah. Well, how about we record a testimonial with them, and we put that over the airways. So when people are going to work in the morning, when people are driving home from the work, they hear these people telling their testimonial about you. That's powerful advertising. The most powerful advertising you can have is other people's words about you. That's why people love reviews, because it's not the person out there bragging about themselves. It's other people that have had a real experience with that company. Selling to people these days, it's like you're inviting them into a dark room. You're inviting them into the unknown. And as much certainty as you can give them, the more confident they're going to feel in taking that step and walking into the room. It's the same thing. So this works both ways. You have to do this for your customers, your clients, to help them get new prospects. But you also have to do this for yourself to get new clients, right? So as Don Lazari said, credibility, you get that by asking good questions. And then you can present the things that give them the certainty that, like, man, okay, this is how we're going to do this. Okay, I do see that this could work. I do see that this is the way. And when they want better customers too, then you can... I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second when I talked to the Charlie Moser story. But when they want better customers, when they look for you above everybody else, they're going to pay more for you. When they look for you out by name, they understand it might cost a little bit more. They understand it's going to be a fair price. They understand they're going to get great service, but they will be willing to pay a little bit more for people that they trust. And people can gain trust in companies through the radio station, through the radio advertising and the message. And those are selling points that you can give people for radio that don't work anywhere else. It doesn't work with online advertising unless they're really good at direct response advertising and they can do the whole funnel thing. Most people can't. They're business owners. They don't have time for that. Other industries. Joe Pisacchio was on here early on talking about sales. He got his sales chops working at a motorcycle shop, selling motorcycles. And he really emphasized the importance of asking not just qualifying questions, but qualifying and like making sure I have the right understanding of what you want. He said a guy would come in and say, "Hey, do you have that bike over there in blue?" And instead, most people would say, yeah, I can get that for you, blah, blah, blah. And Joe would say, you got to ask him, "Do you want it in blue?" No, I was just curious. I thought I saw one the other day in blue going down the street. I didn't know if it was that bike or another bike. Okay. Or why do they want the bike? I just collect bikes. I've seen this one. I've wanted it for a while. I want to come in and get it. Do you have this on the floor I can take home right away? Or Man, I don't have a bike before. I've never ridden, but my buddies are taking a trip across country. I need a bike that's going to be across country. I need a bike that's going to be easy to ride. I need a bike that's going to help me get down there and back quickly, safely. What do you recommend? You don't know the answer to any of those questions unless you ask. You assume everybody walking into the motorcycle store wants the best bike possible or wants this or this. But it's the qualifying questions that you ask that are going to help you give them the best solution. They're going to help you tune in to their radio station. When you're broadcasting on WIIFM, when you all of a sudden they dial it in and you're the voice on that station that they hear, you're going to get their business and you're going to get the sale. Whenever you go out into the sales world, that should be your job, is to be the programming they dial into on WIIFM. If you do that, you will win the day. If you do that, you will crush your sales goals week in and week out, and you will have customers that repeat customers that you can rely on, and that will make your career easy, lucrative, and fun. And that's the way it's supposed to be, man. Sales just supposed to be making the money and having fun and living a great life. And so I hope this information will help you go out and do that. We're going to have another solo episode this week. I had some people kind of last minute cancel. We're going to get we'll have some guests coming up in the next few weeks. It's going to be great. We've had wonderful people on this podcast so far. I appreciate you tuning in and listening. And thank you again. Thank you to Radio Update for sponsoring us. This is Persuading for Profits, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.